What's up, everybody? Yannis Pappas here from the Yannis Pappas Hour. The Yannis Pappas Hour is named after Yannis Pappas. It's eponymous. It's an eponymous title. Welcome to the show, everyone. Sorry we missed last week. I had to go to Disney World with my family and apply for government assistance after the amount that I paid to take some females to the princess world, to the happiest place on earth, which is not happy for my bank account. It's a very sad day for my checking account. It's so expensive. Also, my stomach. I think I got worms. The food is horrendous. The sights are awful. It's a little bit of a downer to look at the people and go, whoa, this is the drain pool of America. Do you know what it is? You know the drain in a shower? It collects, well, Disney World is a drain on America that just collects all of the oversized circle people of America, and they descend onto Orlando, Florida with their mini ears and their socks and sandals and their dad security shirts that say Princess Security or the most expensive day ever. That is the true funny one. And they descend on there and they just give each other colds and they chew on frozen pretzels and they get on rides that they can't fit on with their daughters. So their daughter's all smushed into the corner to go see Elsa, who's really undocumented Mexican hiding from ICE. A great place to hide from ICE is inside of Minnie. So I'm sorry we missed that week, but I'll tell you what. I tell you who's not going on a smoke break for these next 4 years. It's whatever undocumented Mexicans are in Daffy Duck costumes. They ain't taking those heads off for nothing. Those mascots are staying in costume. They're sleeping in them. They're in disguise. I'll tell you that right now. What a week of events. We're living in a DOGE world. It's not Dodge like a rock. I think that's not the right car either. Anyway, what's the expression for Dodge? Whatever it is. Buy this American car. It's an American car, right, Dodge? But it's not Dodge. It's DOGE. But it is being headed up by a guy who makes cars. And we don't know. Does he have security clearance? Does he not? Is he a government official? Has he been sworn in? What's his title? He's just President Trump's right-hand billionaire, and he is getting all into USAID's finances, and they're locking out employees. They're getting into the database, and they're trying to find out where all this money's going. And a lot of people are saying this is bad, this is dictatorial, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. America sends all this money to prop up its influence around the world, and if we remove it, then our adversaries will come in, and they'll take over. So that's their argument, and then the right's going, I think the right is just saying one thing. It's run by lunatics. That's what Trump's saying. It's run by lunatics. So basically, they're on a mission to gut all funding for DEI. And they're saying USAID has got a lot of DEI in there. It's a DEI. They're DEI hunters. Do you remember the movie by our friend Quentin Tarantino? Right? The Nazi hunters? The Jew Brigade? What was that one called?
The Jew Brigade.
What was it called? That movie? The Nazi guy.
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. These are the DEI hunters. It's a group of white men going after DEI, the white man's enemy, just like the Jew Brigade was going after the Nazis. So we're going to talk about that special brigade that's in power right now. We're going to talk about the Panama Canal. We're going to talk about Guantanamo Bay. We're going to talk about Beyonce. We're going to talk about Biden's new talent agency signing. I think he was signed by CAA, and we're going to talk about why. So stay tuned and listen in, and don't go anywhere. You just got to listen to a quick, fun rap song.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Aw shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
I forgot to mention the biggest news, and that's Kanye and his his girlfriend, who curiously looks a lot like his previous wife. Same build, same ambiguous ethnicity. And is she okay? That's what we want to know. Her name is Bianca Censori, so I guess she's Italian or whatever. And was he invited to the Grammys?
He walked the red carpet.
I mean, he walked the red carpet, and she forgot her clothes. I guess he designed that dress for her, and the dress was just a see-through dress. At this point, I mean, it's like, we get it. We see you, Kanye. We understand. We know. We get it. Apparently, she didn't want to wear the dress. She wanted to wear something else. He admitted she would have rather wear something else, which gives us clues that she's not in charge. You know? He's grabbing control of the wheel. He's like a coach in the NBA who's losing his authority to multi-million-dollar brats who know that they can just demand a trade because free agency rules the day. And what I mean by that is this chick's trying to have free agency, and he's saying, no, you're my sex slave. I don't know what control he has over her, but I think it has something to do with her mental illness and his. This is a trauma bond right here. This is a trauma bond relationship. I think she blew him on a boat in the Netherlands or whatever. Remember that? And now she's showing up butt naked, showing her whole body off. And it's very fun for a guy who's got a family to show up with his date looking like this. I don't know. I don't know what to say, except whatever Jew virus that they put in his brain. Because you know that's what they did. They gave the kid bipolar 2. Somehow they created some sort of nanorobot to get into his head and create the bipolar 2. And they did something to this broad. She's like the Manchurian Candidate. She's just showing up, yes, I'll wear this. He wanted to make a statement. He wanted, it's just, this is when you know that, Kanye fashion has jumped the shark. I mean, when you get to no clothes being clothes, I think we got to go back to corduroys. We got to go back to something. Maybe, candy corn shoes and other people's hair. Maybe it's time we go back to the Victorian era. But we're at the point where for a while, remember, he just wasn't wearing shoes? Like he had like some sort of sock shoe.
Yeah.
And that was after he created those $900 people tires that people were buying that just looked like burned tires. They were so ugly. Well, people were insisting they were great, but it just looked like the bottom of a mascot outfit. They were horrible. They were pointy, looked like burned rubber.
Yep.
And then he went with no shoes, and now he's made a dress for her that is not a dress. It's completely see-through. So she showed up naked, which was great. So, is it performance art? This is where we get to this point. I don't know. You tell me. Justin Pollock does look great over a couch. So that breakdown and that movement in art I can see as a natural progression from form to formless or whatever. But then it got ridiculous. So with fashion, is this, because maybe he's going, you know what? This fashion is going to be pixelated digitally. Right? So he's thinking on like another level. So he's like, this is actually like pixelated, but in real life, you can just see my girlfriend's fat tits. Everyone's just looking at her fat tits. Or is this like an opposite of Islam statement? Like, what is he going for? Is this a protest against hijabs? What's going on? The chick is fucking naked. She showed up naked. That's not even clothes. She's wearing saran wrap.
It's a see-through burqa.
It's completely see-through, not even like translucent. It's just you can see her bush. You could basically finger her. You can suck at her tit. You can reach out and suck at her tit. You can get to it. There's no cloth in between your face and her tit. And he's just wearing black and sunglasses and moving her around. It's very creepy at this point. Now, my point is it good? Is it bad? Is Trump's policies good? Is it bad? Are the tariffs good or are they bad? I don't know, but it's fun. That's what I'll say. I know it's fun. I know this is fun. Is it good or is it bad? For his kids, it's bad. For his ex-wife, she's probably going, my kids, it's bad. For women, is it good or it's bad? I don't know. Is this feminist or is it not? I don't know. Is it objectifying women or is it just showing off the beauty of the female form and celebrating estrogen and the womb? I don't know, but I know that it's fun. Okay? Taylor Swift is showing up with a T to the Grammys on her leg. Okay? She's hot. Beyonce's winning for Best Country Album. I didn't know she put out a country album. J-Lo looks 20. I don't know how that's possible. But maybe it has something to do with taking a Puerto Rican out of their natural habitat and they just, maybe it's the oxygen of the Lower East Side that ages them. I don't know, but it's fun. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I know it's fun. And Lady Gaga showed up as Marilyn Manson to the Grammys to just talk about trans kids. I don't know. It's fun. Who's that? Is that the ghost of Cyndi Lauper? It's somebody named Chappelle Roan, and she's dressed in a Victorian outfit. So we just have no center of gravity at this point. There's no rules. Here's a bald chick with witch nails. Her name is Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia what?
Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo. So she's got no hair. She's got the same haircut as Bronny James. Shakira still looks 20. Again, so do you have to take a Latin out of their natural habitat? I don't know for them not to age. But she hasn't aged. Miley Cyrus talks like a guy, looks like a chick. Still hot. And who's that? Gloria? Glorilla?
Glorilla?
Glorilla.
Glorilla.
So what I'm learning from what I'm looking at is that I'm finally old because I don't know who she is. I don't know who Victoria Monet is, but I know I like what I see. And this chick is dressed as a drunk DEI hire American Airlines pilot who got so drunk the night before she forgot her shirt. And what's her name? Janelle Monáe. I don't know who she is. And there is classy Alicia Keys. Is she still doing the no makeup thing? Yup.
I see some lipstick.
See a little bit going on. That didn't really catch on with the feminists. And there is what used to be, scroll down, used to be the identifiable Cardi B, who now looks like Marilyn Monroe. She's got a new face. That is not the face she started with. So people are just getting new faces at JFL. Mandy Moore, another chick who looks like this, they all look like the same chick now because of plastic surgery. They're all Kardashians. There's like hundreds of Kardashians. So I don't know. I don't know why Kanye was invited to the Grammys, but apparently he was. But what we do know is the music industry just has different rules. Okay? Chris Brown, he's on the red carpet. Kanye West on the red carpet. You can do whatever you need to do in the music industry and you will be fine. Music industry plays by a different set of rules and you're uncancelable. He's also got a new album coming out and here's the thing. I bet you it's going to be fantastic. I bet you he's going to like sample Hitler speeches to a crazy beat and it's going to be catchy. That's the problem. That's what we got to stay away from, is Kanye producing and sampling Nazi themes and Nazi speeches because he's going to make them hot. And that's what I'm worried about because he just makes everything good in music. His music is just very good. So I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I know it's fun. That's all I know. What's going on with USAID? I didn't know USAID existed. I think most of the people didn't know USAID existed. I think most of the people didn't know that U.S. taxpayer dollars funded it. I think some people are finding out about it. I think a lot of employees are going to be gone from USAID or are already gone from USAID. I know it had 10,000 employees. That seems like a lot. That seems like a lot for an agency that's just lending out money. It seems like you can have 4 guys doing that.
for an agency no one knew it existed.
Yeah, well, so what is USAID? Okay, so USAID was founded by John F. Kennedy as an executive order in the 60s, whatever it was, sometime in the 60s. And then it was
1961.
1961. And then in 1998, what happened? It was ratified it was codified by Congress as an independent agency, right? So they're an independent agency that gets taxpayer money and basically doles it out to other countries or whatever it does. And so DOGE has set its targets on USAID. They want to shut it down. And by DOGE, let's be honest, it's Elon Musk. It's Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Batman and Robin. And who's Batman and who's Robin? I don't know. But Trump would say he's Batman and Elon Musk is Robin. And I think Elon Musk would say Donald Trump is Batman and he's Robin with a wink. That's what I think he'd do. He'd go, no, totally. Totally. He's Batman, I'm Robin. And then he would wink. And then he'd do this.
Whoa.
But Elon Musk is in there, and Donald Trump says it's run by lunatics, and they're saying there's a bunch of like DEI funding in there and other stuff, and people are worried that this is unconstitutional. I don't know if it is or if it's not or if it's good or it's bad, but I know that it's fun. I know the guy definitely came in with an agenda, and that agenda is taking form. Things are changing very rapidly. Marco Rubio says that he's in charge of DOGE, but it seems like it's really Elon Musk who's in there. So they've executed a 90-day freeze on most foreign aid to give Trump's administration time to review the USAID's $30 billion budget for 2025. So one of the things that will no longer receive U.S. funding is a pro-LGBT group in Serbia through a group called Grupa Izdaji, which in English translates to Group Come Out. So there's an agenda here. So there was an agenda before to help these people, and now there's an agenda going, we don't want to spend money on that. So I don't know. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Things like that is what they're really going after. It seems like they're going after the gays a little bit, no?
DEI in general.
DEI in general, the gays. I'm convinced that Elon Musk's, is on. His Batman story is his kid turning trans, and that turned him into either Batman or Robin, depending on how you look like on it. That's his superhero. Every superhero or villain has an origin story, and I think his origin story is when his son went trans. That's what I think. That, like when Batman was parents were murdered in front of him, or the Joker or whatever, his father beat his mother and then cut his face into a smile. Why so serious? I think that. So, and depending on how you view it, good or bad, he's either a villain or a superhero. So I don't know. 1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, 70,000 for a production of DEI's musical in Ireland, 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, 32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. So, okay, so those are some of the things they came up with. Taxpayers are finding that out, and they're going, maybe we don't want to spend on that, maybe we do. But we didn't know it was being spent on that, so maybe it's helpful that we know that it was being spent on that because it is our tax dollars. 47 grand, 32 grand for a transgender comic book in Peru.
That's an expensive comic book.
That's an expensive comic book. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, said Leviat, who's only 27 years old. And I know the American people don't want either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse of the federal government. Depending on how you feel about comic books in Peru, trans comic books in Peru, and if it's worth that much money, you're going to have an opinion on this. I'm not here to have an opinion on it. I'm just here to say it's fun to know that we're paying for that. That's fun. We should get a credit as a producer, at least, and maybe some points on the profits. But this seems like they're finding an agenda from America to help those disenfranchised groups or to fund them in countries that may be not so nice to them. That's one way you could look at it, or another way you can look at it is it's just a waste of money for national interests or whatever. I don't know. Or you could say, hey, it's making the world a more tolerant place. I don't know. These things are opinions. And I guess the American people voted in a person that said he was going to do these things because the majority of Americans, or the majority represented by an electoral college, want this to change. So that's what's going on. Change. There's some change happening. So we are going to find out what USAID is spending all their money on, and Democrats want to stop it and are saying it's unconstitutional. And it is a threat to national security and America's influence in the world to shut it down. And I think Trump is saying he wants to get it shut down, or Elon Musk is saying he wants it shut down. Donald Trump is saying he's tasked with finding out what's going on. I don't think he's actually said he wants anything shut down. And he keeps saying, like, he can only do what I say he can do. He's saying that there's going to be an ego problem between these two. It's going to happen at some point. Nothing grows under big trees or orange glue-on hairs, orange glue-on toupees. Nothing grows under those. So there's going to be a problem. But no, Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm right. Oh, he said that Trump has agreed, but he said Trump has agreed. And then Trump said he can't do anything without me saying. So why does it matter? The U.S. is indeed the largest provider of humanitarian aid. And USAID does administer billions of dollars in humanitarian aid, development, and security assistance to more than 100 countries. They spend less than 1% of its budget on foreign assistance, a smaller share overall than some other countries. But we have so much money, I guess that accounts for the largest. So it is a federal agency, but it is independent, right? So we're going to find out what's being spent on there. I guess that's it. You're just going to find out where the money's going. Because we don't know. It's an independent agency, so they don't have to report to Congress, right? We don't know. We don't have the answers. We're not smart about it. But I think that's the whole...
it would be nice if there was a list somewhere.
It would be nice if there was a list for all taxes, and we voted on that.
We could see where everything's going.
That would be very nice. But then also that would be kind of, I don't know, can you get that stuff done through referendum? Sometimes you just need people to make the decisions for you.
Maybe, but it would be nice to see, at least.
At least to see.
Yeah, and I want to read that comic book.
Yeah, I definitely want to get my hands on that comic book. It's like, you remember when in Pulp Fiction, when Samuel Jackson says, do you mind if I have a little bit of your shake? Because I got to... No, when John Travolta says, can I get a sip of that shake? I got to know what a $10 shake tastes like. And then he takes a sip and he goes, it's a pretty good fucking shake. So I just want to read the comic book and be like, all right, that's a pretty damn good trans comic book. It was worth every bit of that $37,000 or $72,000, whatever it was, in aid. So... USAID may be going bye-bye, but we're definitely going to find out what they're funding. I think one of the biggest benefactees, is that what it is?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, benefactees?
Benefactees.
Is obviously Ukraine, but I don't know if it's for Ukraine trans comic books. I think it's for whatever else in Ukraine. But we're sending a lot of money. more than $16 billion through USAID has been given to Ukraine. And in 2023, they distributed $72 billion. I will say, if we took 1 year, just 1 year, and took $72 billion and put it towards infrastructure in the United States for 1 year, if $72 billion in a year, if we just took $72 billion American taxpayer dollars, our own money, and we said, hey, we're just going to give you guys a haircut for 1 year, and we just took that money and we put it into American infrastructure, could the whole country look great?
Maybe.
I mean, how much money would it take to fix Poughkeepsie?
That's a sinkhole. That's a lot of money.
I mean, $72 billion. If we took 1 year and took $300 billion.
That would be nice.
And just put it into Flint's water.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1 year.
I mean, it's not
Troy, New York.
Yep.
You know?
A lot of places.
Or if we just held up Disney World and we said, you're going to donate 1 week of your profits to America to kick back to these people who are going into debt to take their kids to Disneyland. What could we do?
We could do a lot. I mean, if this place was spotless, I'm all for giving some money away. But we, need a little cleaning up around here.
Yeah, or we could just let Disneyland run the world.
Not a bad idea.
They keep it clean. If anything goes wrong, you go underground and it doesn't happen.
That's right.
Yeah, they make it like it doesn't happen.
Just Disneyfy all of America.
Just Disneyfy the whole America and let them run, and we all just eat like frozen chicken nuggets. We're already doing it anyway. But everything's underground. That's what I love about Disney is any problems, they just shoot you right underground and out.
I like it.
Off the property.
That would be good for
Yeah, so if like, boom, they just throw you into Guantanamo Bay, which is, unfortunately, if you don't have any pictures, you're taking a trip to Cuba. Did I say pictures? If you don't have any papers, yeah, you're taking a trip to Cuba. We're not allowed to go to Cuba, but if you have no papers, you're going to Cuba. And I somehow Guantanamo Bay is in Cuba, and they're back on our terror list, but somehow we still have Guantanamo Bay as a military base. There's some agreement. I still don't understand how that's possible. But, friends and foes, I don't get it. International friends and foes works very strangely. China is our foe, but you collaborate with them on gain of function research and economic stuff. I don't know what's going on. But it seems like there seems to be a shift happening in where people in power think that the COVID virus originated from. I don't know. Here's the fishy part, and then you make your decision. The fishy part is they haven't been able to locate an animal of origin, which with all the other pandemics, they were able to locate an animal of origin very quickly. With this one, they still haven't. It originated in Wuhan, where there happens to be a coronavirus lab that was jointly funded by China and the United States on gain-of-function research. And they happen to be working on a gain-of-function coronavirus that would they took a bat virus that would originate in bats, and they were working on gain-of-function research on that virus in case, there would be a vaccine for it, or whatever the gain-of-function research purpose is. And in 2019, 3 scientists at the Wuhan lab fell ill with COVID-like symptoms. So all it would take was one of them to not be showing any symptoms yet, but be contagious, and take a walk. And that's it. That's all it would take. So that's what we know. So it almost definitely came from the lab. The House panel concludes that the pandemic came from a lab leak. So we don't have any smoking gun, according to a lot of people, but if you speak to anyone with a fucking brain, you would say that the 3 scientists who got sick in 2019 with COVID-like symptoms while they were working on a fucking COVID virus is a fucking smoking gun. And that it originated in Wuhan, where that lab is a fucking smoking gun. and that they haven't found an animal of origin yet, and they have for all the other pandemics very quickly, is a fucking smoking gun. But apparently that's not enough for some fucking lefties. Let's be honest. I don't know why this is across party lines. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. I don't think it's a conspiracy at this point. I think it's common sense. It's like trying to tell your wife, honey, the restaurant's on the left, when you see the sign for the restaurant. The CIA now believes the virus responsible for the COVID is most likely originated from a laboratory. So it's like, duh. Is this going to be called the duh government investigation? Now, the only question then becomes, was it leaked intentionally or was it an accident? That we can't answer. I think it's most likely an accident, but we will find out shortly after an increased 10% hike in tariffs. Because look, Trump slapped some tariffs on China, right? Back then, back in 2020. China no like. China could say, you know what? We're going to bring the whole world to its knees, and we're going to reshuffle the financial power paradigm. We're going to get at the top because we're going to bring the rest of the world to its knees. If that was the case, it no work. That didn't work. And we get Trump out because they're thinking, oh, people are going to be mad, the economy, so maybe that'll get... It's a far-fetched conspiracy, in my opinion. I think the lab leak is more likely. But like I said, he just increased... So Biden kept the tariffs, so it didn't work. Biden did not undo Trump's tariffs on China when he was in office. He kept them. So it no work, no matter which way you slice it on that conspiracy. But maybe you can say they were banking on him undoing them, but it didn't. So, but we will find out over the next couple of years, because if another one comes down the pike and it originates from Tang Song 2 or wherever there is another, or Wuhan, then we'll have our answer. Because Trump just did an additional 10% on the 25%, right? On China. And China's striking back. So we are right now engaged in a tariff war with friends and foes and mixed friend foes like China, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But it's exciting. Markets are reacting. And there's a lot of capitalists who are probably unhappy about this, right?
Say again?
If you're Walmart, you're not happy about the tariffs.
No, right. You're not happy, right.
If you're the NBA, you're not happy about the tariffs.
No.
You know? It depends. It depends. But this is hurting pockets.
If you're looking for cheap plastic shit, you're not happy.
If you're a Midwestern mom who's got a short haircut and neck fat, and you're in a scooter, and it's Christmas time, and you think there's still a little space left on your shelves and on your fake tree branches from your tree from 2017 that you reuse from China, and you want some more ornaments, it's not good. If you're a regular shopper at the dollar store, you're not happy. If you like getting your kids more toys than they should have, you're not happy. You're not happy about this. Or I should say your wallet's not happy about this. Because I think a lot of people in theory love what he's doing, right? His supporters love what he's doing. But this is going to hurt a lot of people's pockets. So China has retaliated, of course, and announced 10 to 15% tariffs on U.S. coal, liquefied natural gas, crude oil, pickup trucks, and other products shortly to take effect right now after the U.S. tariffs, additional tariffs took effect. So if you're a gas company, you're not happy. If you make trucks, you're not happy. So he's making some enemies maybe amongst his own base?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We got a lot of energy and oil here. I don't know if that's going to hurt. It's just like a little, hey, you push us, we'll push you back. It's
yeah.
Little.
But how about the people who make money off those exports? They can't be happy with the loss of money.
No, nobody's happy losing money, but this isn't like a hard hit. 10%, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. You know, this is like a little slap box fight right now.
Right. So China's not happy.
I'm sure they don't like
They're
it.
saying the unilateral tariff hike by the U.S. side seriously violates WTO rules, does nothing to solve its own problems, and undermines normal China-U.S. economic and trade cooperation. That's what some guy in China's cabinet said.
Yeah.
So they're upset. They're upset. In addition, Beijing announced an investigation into Google for antitrust violations and export controls on items related to something and other rare earth elements that are critical components of high-tech products. It's a reshuffling that's going to happen. Supposedly, Taiwan is saying, hey, we're going to let a lot of these companies migrate to the United States to avoid these tariffs or something, because Taiwan's linked in with China in some way. I don't know how the one country shit works, but it's a shakeup. Right now, we're in this stage, right? With a full bottle of seltzer. And at some point, we're going to get to the point where we open the cap. And either it's going to be flat, or it's going to explode. And let's see. It's going to be fine.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah, that was your magic 8-ball right there.
It's going to be fine. But we're definitely in the shake the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the shake the bottle phase right now. We're really shaking the bottle. And that's all you can say about that, is we're in the shake the bottle time. I was very surprised to learn that there was a school shooting in Sweden. Another mass shooting in Sweden that killed, I think, 10 people. It makes you think, they have very strict gun control. It does make you think a little bit, going okay, obviously this isn't just a gun issue, right? If it's happening in these places that have strict gun control measures with no contiguous states that have contrary laws, right? So you can always make the argument, and I think it's a good one, that Chicago's illegal guns come from Indiana, and it's easy to take guns across the lines, and the cartel gets its guns from the United States because it's so. You can make all those arguments, and they're very valid, and they're very interesting, and they were worth listening to. But then you have this example where there are no contiguous Swedish states that have lax gun laws and illegal guns running all over the place and gun shows and all this shit. It's pretty much only bordered by what? Norway or whatever the fuck, and Russia. So first of all, how did it happen? How did the guy get the gun? That's what we need to find out. Police, okay, the shooting was at a school for adults. So if you're going to school and you're an adult, things aren't going great. So this is just insult to injury. You're there to go back and get your degree, basically at DeVry. And you're going, you're shooting us. We're already down on our luck. I'm not trying to make light, but I just did. It's unfortunate. My job's sometimes hard. I apologize. I know people lost people. The shooting, it's primarily for people who did not finish primary or secondary education. Jesus Christ. Whoever shot was a real asshole. All right. Teachers have described. Right. Okay. So who did it? 15 students. Yeah. So they don't know yet. They just don't know. This just happened.
Oh, this is video.
I don't want to see the video. It's the same video. People run. It's people running, and you hear guns. Probably you hear gunshots. There's 10 people dead. They've confirmed. The police have confirmed that. Here we go. He killed himself, the guy that did it. Which always is, for me, the good guy with a gun, bad guy with a gun. That argument, because these guys usually kill themselves. It's usually suicide mission, so it doesn't matter, because the bad guy with the gun always has the advantage, right? So that's always a vote for gun control, because you're going you don't want maniacs to be able to get guns. Because no matter how many good guys with a gun, he's still going to pluck a bunch off because he's there to die, and the guy starts shooting first. So it's a very difficult, complicated issue. But it does show that is a multifaceted issue, right? Because these shootings are a modern phenomenon, and guns have been around for a long time. So maybe it has something to do with just you can't get away with crimes anymore. So these guys just go on these suicide missions to get their urges out in that way because they can't, like, their DNA. Maybe just can't be a serial killer anymore. Maybe all these people would be serial killers and this is the new type. I don't know. But it's a person unknown to police, and they're not saying anything else. Can't say anything about the weapon. It was obviously an automatic weapon for him able to kill that many people. And that's all they know at this point. So we don't have any more information about, but I'm very curious to know who it was. And
they know more. They're just not releasing.
They're not releasing it yet. They're not releasing it yet. But if you listen to the video, you can hear someone yell either a white power or Ali Akbar. I mean, it's going to be one of the two, right?
Flip a coin, right?
I mean, it usually is, I'm just saying based on data. And also, white power's up there too. They do it. I mean, there was just a neo-Nazi group that was arrested because they had a plot to attack the power grid in Maryland, and it was a neo-Nazi group. So it's just so funny how similar these groups are, but they hate each other. They're on the opposite side of what they hate, but they end up doing, the radicals are all the same. It's just the cause that's different, but the anatomy is the same. I mean, what are the chances it's not that?
Slim to none.
Slim to none.
I mean, could be a lunatic,
You got three options.
Yeah.
An incel,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the guy in California was the producer's son,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the Virginia Tech. Those guys were the same. Like, these girls are fucking scum.
The Sandy Hook kid.
It's usually a guy who just, if you're not getting your noodle wet, you're upset, right? So it's either an incel who can't get laid, which is why we need to make prostitution legal. We really do. So these kids can just touch women. It's either an incel or some type of radical is what I'll say. Usually there's two types by the numbers, and they either yell one thing or the other. One of the chants is ironic, at least, because you're saying, I think it translates to God is great, right? So that's ironic. You're going, God is great while you're sinning. And the other one is white power. It's really going to be one of the two, right? It's really going to be one of the two.
Yeah, it's like
Or if you hear it, you'll say it was some Mossad cell who somehow made it happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's always one.
That train.
That train's never late. That train's always on time. If you want to get on that time, you better be punctual because it never shows up late. It could be there. So the world is a happy, shiny place right now in Disney World. Here's the problem. Outside of the gates of Disney World, we let the problem show. Inside of the gates of Disney World, they hide the problems. Maybe we need to just start hiding the problems from the people by not talking about it so much, right? And in the funnest news, Joe Biden has signed a deal with CAA at 81 years old. For what? Why do these presidents sign deals? Well, it's because they're about to make a lot of money. And haven't you made enough money from Ukraine through Burisma? Now I'm getting cheers from the right section.
Yeah.
I mean, what is he going to do? I'll tell you what he's going to do. Joe Biden has signed a deal to become the spokesperson for Depends. Guys, want to remind you, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. We're still hitting you with those weekly bonus episodes. Go support the show and enjoy our weekly bonus episode. Also, see me on the road in Tempe, Arizona, February 7th and 8th this weekend. Then next weekend, Chicago at the Den Theater, February 14th and 15th. Then Philadelphia, February 28th and March 1st. And then, of course, Springfield, Missouri in March, Rochester, New York in March, and San Diego at the end of March, and then Cleveland. Get your tickets in April. So YannisPappasComedy.com for tickets. Want to give a shout out, as always, to forthefree.art. Music in Hawaii, guys. Check them out. Also want to give a shout out to NateLinder.com. Nate Linder, our good old friend Nate Linder, who does social media managing and will help you monetize and rank number one on Google and profit. So hit up NateLinder.com. Also, DisplayPros.net for custom trade, show booths, retail fixtures, promotional items. Hit them up, DisplayPros.net. Get 10% off your first purchase by telling them good old Yannis sent you. Also, of course, our good friend Rebels-Raiders.com out there in California setting fires. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't him. But we're still waiting for him to... I don't know. At this point, he sells T-shirts. So if you want a GOAT T-shirt, he has those. The website is cool. I think he's just a great guy. I think at this point, he... get those fucking backpacks. Or are those backpacks like what? Who makes those backpacks? Get those fucking backpacks. But the T-shirts that say GOAT on them are available, and the proceeds go to GOAT charity. This is a very interesting guy who cares a lot about goats and animals. So he's still saying that the production delay is there. So apparently he's being affected by the tariffs. So just check out the website, rebels-raiders.com. I love him. Then also, of course, our good friends over at Suds Auto Spa. This is for you if you're in the Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh area. You're in the Pittsburgh area. Call them up, 412-564-5033, info@sudsautospa.com. Check them out on the gram, _Suds. At Suds_auto_spa. It's, they automotive longevity services is what they do, and they will travel. The bigger the job, the farther they will travel. So check them out. Very cool to look at the cars on the Instagram. And PCB Tech Art, our good friends who gave us this sign, they've got a power nest because your phone shouldn't play hide and seek with your car's charger. And they got a power sphere because your car should smell good. Should really smell good. And that's it. It hooks right on. So go buy one of these joints. This is from Christmas. Buy one of those joints. See what they got over there. Go to PCB Tech Art. They also will, create anything you want. So check them out. Yannis10 for 10% discount is the code. Yannis10.